The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera, and by Mosaic, your Lightroom photos automatically on every device and backed up, and by ShootProof, the easy way to proof and sell your photos online.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Curran and Joseph Christina as they chat about the art and business of photography.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 96. I'm Joseph Christina here with my co-host Trevor Curran. On last week's episode, we showed you how to get 140 megapixel images using a Sony NEX and Rhino Cam. Discuss multi-touch tablets, the Blackmagic Cinema camera, and ask the question, are using filter plugins cheating? All that and much, much more. If you haven't watched last week's show, I encourage you to do so. You can find it at our website, digitalphotographycafe.com, and iTunes, listen with the popular Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox music apps, and watch on HD through TiVo. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, it's going good. We are back.
We are here. If you can see me, I'm peeling. My head, my forehead is burnt. You know,
man.
Yeah, we ended up taking the little one. It was his birthday, 5 years old, to Legoland.
Yeah, I was jealous, man. I want to go to Legoland.
Yeah, so awesome. Oh my God,
that was pretty cool stuff. I know you were sending me these pictures of some of these Lego sculptures that they've made. And they're huge. They're like 20 feet tall or some crazy thing.
I don't even know. And they're not even like faked. I mean, they're individual block Legos.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one of like Einstein's head that my daughter was standing next to it, and she's probably, I would say, 40% of his head. So, you know, she's, let's say, 4.5 feet. So times that by, I mean, it's like 20-foot head, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just, it's crazy.
I know, that was really cool. That was really cool.
And then
we'd love to get down there.
Can I just tell you, the Star Wars is amazing. The Capitol is amazing. They had our stomping grounds over there in Vegas. They had the MGM. They had the Luxor. They had the whole strip. They had the the space shuttle.
That was really neat.
NASA, which is just amazing. It just went on and on and on. It was a whole
really great
city.
Photo ops too, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really neat to see that stuff built in miniature. I mean, these miniatures are very detailed and they're large scale miniatures. I mean, what did they say? Like 20th scale or something like that?
It's somewhere around there. Some of them were just, they're full scale, you know, it's full people. Like there was one pizza guy, you just walk up to him, you know, he's got the pizza and everything. I mean, he's full size. It was amazing. And you know what? I tell you what, you know, Legoland, they're not associated with anyone. They're not MGM. They're not like Disney, whatever. It's Lego, period. I think there's one here and there's one in, I think, Cali or something. Anyways, very neat the way they did it. And it's great, like for the whole family. So I was kind of, you know, usually we do like, you know, we'll do one of the Disney parks or whatnot, Hollywood Studios or something. But we wanted to give it a shot, and I tell you what, it was definitely well worth it. The kids absolutely loved it. Any of the kids that love Legos will just, you know, they just love this. And they have 3 roller coasters, so it's like something for everyone.
Yeah. So there's some rides.
There's some rides, you know.
There's a water park too, isn't there?
They just opened the water park the day that we got there, but you know, you're looking at like, I think it was like 50 degrees, so we're not going in the water park. Goodness. But it was really neat. They just opened it, and you know, something to look at. If you guys are on the other coast, I think it's California, check it out over there. If you're on our coast, you know, you're on vacation, check out Legoland. Definitely fun. Like I said, I'm all burnt up, jacked up, but hey, you know, there's not a lot of trees. Wear a lot of sunblock. Wear a hat. I don't know. Keep the kids safe. So. But anyways, we have, once again, a really, I guess, you know, packed show. So we need to get right into it, right?
Yeah, no news today. We're going to skip that this week. And this week, we're kind of looking at a productivity show.
Right.
You know, and really kind of for me, the last couple of weeks have just been insane for me. The emails have been coming nonstop. The phones have been ringing like crazy. I'm doing proposals. I mean, these are all good problems to have.
That's
believe
awful.
me. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
But, the fact is, during slow times, you kind of relax a little bit. You don't, think about things as much. You don't worry about things as much. And then when it gets busy, it's very easy for things to start slipping through the cracks, both work-wise and personal-wise, family-wise. Crap, I forgot to get the kids off the bus. It's
Exactly.
like, that's not good.
No.
So yeah, today we want to kind of talk about some productivity tools, whether they're an app or a web service or something like that. So yeah, the first thing for me has been reminders. To-do lists and reminders. I'm just getting so much going on right now that I'm starting to forget things, and I mean, I'm lucky I remember your name.
What it is. You're just old. Yeah.
I know, exactly, because we're getting old, right?
That's what it is.
So I started playing with the reminders app on the iPhone. Now, I've never really used it before, never really had a need to, but now I do. And, it's actually working out really well. It's so easy to use. You just pop it open. You can go type a quick message. You can set a reminder time. It'll give you an alert, like a little chime on the phone.
Right.
And now every time I think of something, even if I'm laying in bed and the phone's on the nightstand and the charger, and you're like kind of still stirring, thinking about the day. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to do that. I'll just grab the phone, add it to the reminders, set a date if I need to or what have you. And I just go in there and check it throughout the day and make sure I'm on track. And it's really been working out great for me.
Yeah. I know you're fully in the iOS sphere, I guess, of products. I guess the product that I found, it was about a year ago. It's by let me see, it's RealMac Software, and it's called Clear.
Right.
CLEAR, Clear. This is a list program. It is unbelievable. It is by far the best UI that I have ever seen on any app. It just makes list making, taking, modification, moving, whatever, absolutely a breeze. It is.
That's nice.
I mean, I think this app is probably a godsend. And I tell you what, I've used so many of these like list apps, reminder type
There is
things.
a ton of them out there. Yeah.
I mean, I have a phone full, but this one is head and shoulders above all the rest. I mean, you can make, the beauty of it is, you can make separate lists. So maybe you have a personal list, you have a shopping list, a to-do list, a notes or whatever, a movie list.
Honey-do list.
A honey-do list. God knows that's a big one. But yeah, so you have separate lists, and once you go in them, you'll have all your lists. And what's nice is you can prioritize the list based on color. It'll like gradate and shade things. And then what's nice is you can just hold down on one of the items and then just move it up or move it down in the priority on how it shows. And what's really cool is once you're done with it, you just swipe over it. And instead of it just getting rid of it completely, it'll just kind of like nix it off, put a line.
Yeah, it kind of marks it as done.
Drops it to the bottom. So if you want to revisit that, you can swipe it the other way and now it becomes active again, or swipe it the same way a second time and it'll delete it permanently.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I mean, you told me about it after I was telling you about how I'm using reminders, and it looked good. I mean, I downloaded it for $1.99, I think it was.
Right.
It's definitely worth checking out. I mean, especially since you like it so much. So I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah, this is one of those that I will definitely rave about. I don't rave about much, but this one is just absolutely unbelievable. Anyways, one of the best things about it, besides all the how-tos and all the rest of this stuff, what is really neat is you can use it as a shot list. So you could create, let's say, a wedding shot list, for example, and you have your quote-unquote generic shot list of all of your shots that you want to get.
Right.
Then you can have a shot list specific to that specific bride. You can have that. What's nice is the way the UI works. You can, once you're done, swipe it, and now it nixes it off, right? Then later on, once everything's nixed, you're done with your shots. Later on, when you get back home or to the studio, you swipe it all back the opposite way, and now you have your baseline for your next
for the next shoot.
all
Yeah,
over
so
again.
you're not, so you're putting a to-do list together, like you're taking a to-do list app, using it as a shot list, but when the shot is done, you're not actually losing that item off the list, so you can
Right.
continue to reuse the list. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's cool.
It works out absolutely perfect. And if you're doing, like, for example, we do commercial work, so we'll do like product photography, and let's say it's a watch and we're doing like a Rolex, and we need certain angles. Let's say it's 10 different angles. If you list all those angles, you can then visualize exactly what you need to do to create all those shots, and you can just sit there and just slice them off as you go, and you know that you have performed everything that you needed to, there and beyond. And then you can come back to it. Either you can use it again or not, or just delete it completely. So, and it's kind of like an infinite number of these lists that you can create. So they're like lists within lists, like subcategories. So anyways,
That's cool.
Going
I
any
like it.
further, if you guys get a chance, check out that app. It's called Clear. Like you said, it's $1.99. You can get it in the App Store. Test it out and send us, a little quick note on what you think. And I think that you guys will absolutely love it. For me, it changed my life, I suppose. Definitely the way I do business. It definitely helped me stay on target with all of the projects. And, sometimes I'm juggling 5 to 10 projects at a time. Sure. It actually keeps everything kind of, consolidated and in order. Hence the name list.
Exactly.
Right? So
yeah, that's it. And then the next step from a to-do list is your calendar apps.
Right.
So I'm a big iCal user. I use it on the desktop computers. I use it on the phone, the iPad, and I like it because I can actually share this calendar with my wife too. So I actually have a work calendar for me, appointments that are specific to me. If I have an appointment that's going to affect her, such as I have to, leave the office and go out for a few hours, she needs to know that. I can put that on the house calendar. But it's really cool because it's synced. It's synced with iCloud. And it goes, my desktop computer has it. All the computers here in the office have it. It just really works well for us. But we're all Apple-based. I know with you kind of have a mixed bag over there. So you've been using Google Calendar, right?
Right. Yeah. So, I'm the Unix guy, PC and Apple. So I have, one finger in every, pie, so to speak. So, wife has got, the PC, and then I have Linux machines that run other things. And so I need something cross-platform. So for me, it's the Google world. I set up Google Calendars on my iPhone, Google Calendars I set up on my wife's laptop, on her iPhone, basically even my daughter's phone. So, we're all kind of, we're all looking at the exact same calendar. If I make an update, everyone on the calendar
they
sees it. They make an update, the same thing, vice versa. So it really keeps the family on track. The other side of it is I have a calendar also for the business side. And then I have all of the calendar stuff in there also that can be, shared with, like, for example, with you.
Sure, yeah. We have a DPC
shows.
calendar, so we know when we're going to do our show notes, when we're going to record, when we have events coming up, like, if we're traveling or something like that. I mean, that works great for us.
Right, and that's through Google too. So, it's I guess the app that works for you or what you use most. Or
the big thing is to use something, though, because this is again, without calendaring things, unless you've got an amazing memory.
It's not me.
Things are going to slip through the cracks. You're going to miss appointments. People are going to get ticked off. I mean, this is, the wife's going to be mad at you,
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's definitely something to use. And like I said, I use iCloud for syncing. I started out with the Mobile Me, and then it kind of migrated over to this iCloud service. But, what I like about the iCloud service is not only am I syncing my calendars and my reminders, but it'll sync notes. It'll sync all kinds of stuff with all the different devices that we have, and it really, I like it a lot. Again, it's not for everybody, but for me, it works. I don't use it for the storage. There are, they give you like free storage that you can store files
like
on and stuff like that.
or
I don't do anything with that, but I do use it to back my iPhone up too. Which actually worked out well, because I don't know if you guys remember, but I had the iPhone 5. I was having problems with the speakerphone. It just didn't sound right.
Right.
They couldn't find anything wrong with it at the store, but they're like, you know what? It's under warranty. We'll just give you a new one. So basically, I had already had iCloud syncing turned on. All they did was pop my SIM card out of the, my other one, pop it into a new one, hit sync. I put in my password and stuff, and then it just sucked everything back down from iCloud, and the phone was all back up and running in about an hour.
Yeah. The only caveat to that is, like for example, with you, I believe you have a 64 gig. I have like a 16 or a 32 gig iPhone 5. And I believe iCloud gives you 5 gigs. And if you start doing videos or you're putting a lot of your pictures and bigger items on there, you're going to blow through that 5 gigs really quick, and you're going to have to pay to upgrade it. If not, then this will not work. You need to go sync it through your desktop or whatnot.
Yeah.
So, but either way, it's definitely powerful, and for free, you can't beat that. Free is good.
Yeah, not bad at all.
So the other thing that we wanted to talk about was mail, and me, I've run servers in the past, and we actually still do. But so many times you get people that come up and they say, where's my mail? Where's my mail? And
email's a pain in the butt.
Exactly, it is a pain in the butt. My computer crashed. I had a virus, and the guy said he couldn't recover my mail. Where's my mail? Well, basically, if you're doing POP3, in other words, you're downloading the mail from the server to your computer, you're basically lost. At that point,
your computer crashes, that mail is gone.
All your mail is gone. So, Google finally, as of I think a couple of years ago, made available IMAP 3. I've been using my IMAP 3 for, 8 years, forever.
Right.
But IMAP is a method of getting your mail, but the mail that you see on your client is just basically a thin portion of it. Maybe it's just a title and a portion of the mail. Sometimes they'll download the attachments. Sometimes you can set it up to not download attachments, however you want it. But the bottom line is all of your mail sits on the server out in the cloud, and it's not sitting on your computer.
That's right.
What that means is you can go and get the same mail on your phone, get the same mail on your wife's computer, get the same mail in the studio, get the same mail everywhere, no matter if any of the computers blow up. You still have your mail. You don't lose it. And for the most part, if you're using any type of service provider out there for your website that you're doing mail through, they have redundancy upon redundancy upon redundancy, 99.999.
Well, you would hope.
Well, that's,
good hosts do, yes.
For the most part, yeah. I mean,
you got to definitely look at the fine print when you're with your hosting account, because a lot of these, $5 a month hosting deals, you kind of get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And they may or may not have accurate backups. They may be doing backups once a week, if they're lucky. So you really need to look at the fine print in that. But yes, if they're a good quality host, they're doing backups, they have daily backups, they should be able to restore your mail should you lose it, or should they have a server crash, more importantly. And that's, I'm involved with web hosting, and, I do hosting for my clients and stuff, but I don't want to do mail. Honestly, I don't. Getting the setup working, so many people with all their different clients, they have problems with it. It can be a lot of headaches. And honestly, what I recommend for those clients is Google Business Apps, because for $5 a month, $5 per email account, you get like ridiculous 25 gigabytes of storage. Yeah. If you've got more than 25 gigabytes of mail, I mean, that's a lot of mail. That's basically unlimited mail.
Right.
But the beauty is you can set that Google Mail up as an IMAP account. You can get it on all your devices. I've got it on my iPhone. I've got it on my computer. You have unlimited basically unlimited storage. Right. It's $5. And the beauty is you can actually attach your own domain name to it. It's part of that premium service. So you can have, John Smith at mydomainname.com and not be stuck with gmail.com.
Exactly.
So that's very cool. And they've got a 99.9% uptime guaranteed.
Right.
So Google's doing backups. They've got redundancy. I mean, you're not going to lose your mail there. No. I mean, not to say that anybody is infallible, not to say that there couldn't possibly be a problem, but I think you're going to have a greater chance of having a problem with a local cheap web host taking care of your mail than Google.
Yeah, go with the big guys. I mean, like even like GoDaddy or someone like that that's been around for 10, 15 years or however long they've been there, just as a side note, the reason why a lot of these, you don't really have to worry about your backups as much going through them is not necessarily that they're backing up specifically your mail, but what they're doing is they're backing up all their servers.
Yeah, the servers.
The servers that they use these days, instead of in the old days where you used to have a server and you would sit it on a rack and you'd have server after server after server. Well, now they're using VMware and other virtualization, which takes one server and then turns it into, let's say, 50 servers based on clusters of CPUs and memory in them.
Right.
And
it's
then
this whole cloud thing.
And then and then what happens is then those servers get it spreads it across a multiple like ring of servers. So there's not one point of problem that can occur where you're going to lose anything. So no matter what, there is 10, maybe 20 machines that actually have your data on it at any given time. So the chances of you losing your data with one of these companies is it's next to nil. I mean, it's always possible. But even in disaster, let's say there was a disaster in an area where the server was, those servers are backed up,
off location.
Off location, exactly. They have multiple servers on different parts of the world and definitely different parts of the U.S. So at any given time, an entire location could go south, and the next location will pick it up, within minutes. So it's pretty safe. Especially back to the beginning point. Don't use POP3. If for some reason you're still using POP3 and or you don't know, find out. Get that mail off your computer. Set it up for IMAP. Take all that mail that you have on your computer, send it up into the ether, and leave it up there. Because it is much safer and you don't have to worry about ever losing it. So anyways, Trevor, before we go any further, let's go ahead and take a quick break and hear from one of our sponsors here.
Are you frustrated with slightly out of focus images when you know your autofocus spot was dead on? It's simply not your fault. From manufacturer to manufacturer and even lens copy to lens copy, there are slight variances to the exact spot where light is being focused onto the sensor. Finally, there's a product that allows you to compensate for those variances and make sharper images immediately. Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool, is an absolute must for every photographer. If you want to make the sharpest images possible, then you need to take control over your camera's focusing system. With the Focus Pyramid, you can calibrate all of your lenses on your lunch break. The Focus Pyramid makes lens calibration quick and easy at an affordable price. So give your lenses a new lease on life and take your photography to the next level. Head over to focuspyramid.com/DPC and get an additional 10% off just for being a show listener. From phones, tablets, laptops, and PCs, these days photographers use multiple internet-connected devices.
Have you ever wished you could view your Lightroom images, folders, collections, and metadata from any of these devices? Now you can.
Mosaic Storage Systems has created Mosaic View, an application that gives you access to your images without exporting or using a publishing service.
Mosaic also offers Mosaic Archive, which directly integrates with Lightroom as a powerful cloud backup solution.
Mosaic gives photographers access to all of their images from anywhere on virtually any device.
Try Mosaic View today for free and access 2,000 of your most recent images.
As a Digital Photography Cafe viewer, Mosaic is offering a 20% discount off any of their premium plans.
Go to mosaicarchive.com and use coupon code DPC at checkout.
Mosaic. Lightroom, anywhere, any device, secure, backed up. As photographers, we're always trying to increase sales and profits after every event.
We shoot an event and have hundreds or even thousands of images that just sit on our hard drives.
Perhaps a better workflow would increase sales by getting those valuable images in front of the client.
That's where ShootProof comes in. At shootproof.com, you can have an online gallery for all of your clients' proofing needs.
ShootProof helps increase profits while building your brand and securing your photos without charging commission fees on sales.
Shootproof galleries display your photos beautifully while helping to streamline your workflow and automate more of your business through their intuitive studio control panel.
Once approved, photos can be directly fulfilled through Shootproof's various professional lab partners or fulfilled by you.
All Shootproof plans have the same feature set. You simply choose the number of client photos stored, decide what products to sell, and the price.
Try Shootproof today by taking advantage of their free 30-day trial offer.
As a Digital Photography Cafe viewer, Shootproof is offering a 20% discount off any of their premium plans by using promo code DPC20 at checkout.
Shootproof. Upload, share, sell, print.
So, all right, guys, we are back. So going back to the productivity idea, the hardest thing for shooting outdoors is not only worrying about weather, but knowing where the sun is. And for me, I've been using this app. It's called Mr. Sun. And
Mr. Sun.
Mr. Sun.
Sounds like
Remember
a
that?
happy app.
Yeah, it was like a Barney thing, right? Mr. Sun, Sun.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to start singing. Anyway,
No,
so
please don't.
Mr. Sun. And, you know, the beauty of this is you could either use your GPS that's built into your phone, and it can take your exact location and give you data, or you can dial in any time, any date, or any geographic location, and then it will tell you at any specific time, and you can kind of scroll through it, exactly the azimuth as well as the elevation of the sun. So the beauty
that's
here,
cool.
which is amazing. So the beauty is here. Let's say you're shooting in Manhattan, and you know your editor says, you know, I want this really dramatic lighting coming through this specific street, and I want the building on and on, because this is how it is. This is how it is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way art direction happens. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's like, so you could either take the models out there and say, okay, so I think it's going to be around this time, and you know, wait a second, are we in winter? Are we in summer? Where is this?
Right.
Okay, so you dial in the time, date, and the specific location, and it will tell you. You will know exactly where the sun is at that specific moment in time, and you could basically get a shoot that would take someone else, you know, half a day to get right. You can get it right.
Testing,
in
trial and
moments.
error, waiting for the sun to position. Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's really cool. I mean, you know, you always hear landscape photographers talking about the sweet sun, right? You know, you got the early morning and the late afternoon, the nice warm light. Well, that's pretty straightforward. I mean, we pretty much know when the sun rises and we know when the sun sets for the most part. But yeah, throughout the day, you know, like high noon, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, everybody says, oh, don't shoot, you know, people outside during that time. But if that's the type of, you know, harsh look that you're going for, you know, the harsh shadows, the heavy shadows and stuff like that. I mean, that's when you want to know. And being able to dial in a specific location to know, let's say, how the shadows are going to fall off of a building in New York is really cool.
Exactly.
It's a really great idea.
So if you're not a commercial photographer, let's say you're a wedding photographer and you're going to do an engagement shoot, and you know that that they're going to do it in 6 months from now. Well, you know what the sun looks like today, but you have not a clue what it's going to be like in 6 months from now. And they said, well, they want to do it on a dock somewhere. Well, you know, you can guess it, you know, and kind of get it close. But it would be nice to know where the sun will be. Now, obviously, this thing's not going to predict the weather, but at least you'll know where the sun will be, and you can kind of, you know, get things set up, go back to your Clear app that I love, and say, okay, I want the bride and groom there at this specific time, and we're going to be there for an hour. In comparison to, we're going to be there for 4 hours, you know? So, yeah, very, very cool. It's really good for getting it right the first time, instead of sitting there and just fighting to try to get it right, then or after the fact in post. No one likes doing that.
No. And you know, the beauty part of it, it's free.
It is free.
It's a free download.
Yeah,
so head over to iTunes, check it out.
Yeah, Mr. Sun.
Yeah, I don't know if they have it like an Android version. Do you know? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm sure you could find something similar if they're
going to
don't
have something
it.
similar, even if it's not the same specific app.
Yeah, but most of them they'll do it. Just kind of. Some of them are just cheesy and they don't just work right. This one works pretty well. So, anyways, another thing, an app that both you and I have is a portfolio app. Now, I know last week we were talking about, you know, bring it to print. And we still believe in bringing your portfolio to print because everyone's doing digital. But if you need it digitally, visit sometimes you want something quick, or maybe you have your iPad with you and you don't have time to set up an appointment to sit with them. There's a really good app for that, right?
Yeah. It's called Folio Book. We've talked about this on the show in the past, and it's still one of the leading portfolio applications for the iPad. I really like it, and what I really like about it is that you can put together a portfolio of all your stuff. I mean, many photographers today don't just shoot one genre. You do portraits, you do weddings, you do events. You may do commercial photography. You may do product photography. So you've got all these different images that you really would be great to have with you. Well, the beauty of something like this is you can actually create categories for all your different photography. You can have all that stuff with you all the time. And at any point, just click on the category and you can show those photos. Now, bringing a printed portfolio with you that has all of your stuff, obviously that's too cumbersome. I mean, it's going to be too big. It's too much to carry. And odds are pretty good. Whatever client you're going to meet with, they don't need to see all that stuff, all that other stuff. They only want to see what's relevant to them. But having it on the iPad, it just gives you the ability to have everything all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that really makes this great is, like you said, you have different genres that you shoot. And let's say you're going in to sit with someone for doing a wedding. Well, you don't really want to show them your commercial work, or you don't want to show them your art, or maybe you don't want to show them
They don't care about that.
Yeah, or you don't want to show them your boudoir, because you don't, whatever it is. They have it's called a kiosk mode. And what it does is it will take the portfolio and lock it down. So you can actually hand it to an art director or hand it to a bride or groom or whatever, and not worry about them, and step out the room and come back and not worry about them, perusing through all the other categories or perusing through your mail or whatnot. It actually locks it down so they can't get out. Basically, it turns it into kiosk mode. So that is really, really cool. I use that all the time. It makes things very nice. You don't have to go and, only load certain portfolios in. You can load them all in and not worry about them kind of meandering through all of them. You can send them to one spot, lock them in, and they're not going to move from that. Also,
that's nice.
It's probably the most expensive app that we're talking about today. It's $12.99, but I tell you what, there's so much customability to it. You could customize it however you want.
You can add your own graphics. You can make it look the way you want it. You can actually build it for portrait and landscape modes.
That's awesome.
Which is really nice. This fact is, not all your pictures are horizontal. Not all of them are vertical. You're going to be, as somebody's flipping through your portfolio, they're going to be rotating it and stuff. So It would be nice that the portfolio look good no matter what orientation it was
Absolutely. And the menus actually flip too. So if you're looking at it horizontally, they're in a certain spot with your branding photo. You flip it vertically, and it'll switch it all the way around automatically. So it looks
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
So anyways, the next thing that is kind of like a must-have, especially if you're doing models or if you're doing you're on a location and you're shooting, let's say, stock imagery or whatever. And the American Society of Media Photographers, ASMP, came out with basically an app, a utility that's called ASMP. You can look it up. Releases. ASMP Releases. And basically, this is just awesome. And exactly what it is release forms that you can customize and fill out on location, and then immediately email the client and yourself a PDF of that specific release with their signature on it, with your signature on it, with witnesses' signature on it, and a photograph of the person. So there's no question that, or who they were and who signed it and whatnot.
That's very cool. I mean, then you're not fumbling with paper. You don't have to, oh crap, I can't find a pen and all that stuff. Plus, that these releases have been reviewed by ASMP.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of members of ASMP who are lawyers that have looked at this stuff. And, obviously, I'm sure they'll say too, have your own lawyer look at it if you have concerns. But overall, it's going to be a good, solid model release. And the beauty is they even have a release that's going to be that's basically Getty Images released.
Right.
So it
Exactly.
meets all of the requirements that Getty needs if you're doing stock photography.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, which means that will work for iStock Photo because they're one and the same. You know, it'll
Exactly.
work for many other stock agencies as well. And it's so important to have these model releases, to have the appropriate release. You know, I mean, you set up, you do a day-long shoot, and that model's gone, and you forget to get the signature, on the dotted line there. You can't sell those prints.
No, it's
you
done.
you can't sell those images.
Absolutely. And it does have, so it has Getty both model release as well as property release. And
Right.
they're both very important.
Absolutely, they are.
So anyways, anytime you're talking about Getty, you know that you're going to be able to give it to Getty, well as iStock and everywhere else. It is a standardized type of release. So definitely worth picking up, and it's of course free.
Free, our favorite.
Can't
price.
beat that. Yeah, free. There's a lot of apps out there with model release this and model release that and everything. But if ASMP is doing it, and they're going to give it to you for free. Just use it. It's.
I'd
gonna
probably
be
feel
right.
pretty solid about
You
that.
feel safe with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another item that kind of we want to highlight towards the end here is, of course, Photoshop. And Photoshop Express is available on your iPhone, or I believe it's iPad and iPhone. And it is by far probably one of the best editing software that you can get for these devices. It is amazing.
Yeah, it does all the usual stuff that you would expect. The cropping, straighten, rotating. You can adjust your exposure, color, hue. I mean, all of that type of stuff. I mean, me personally, I'm not really a big fan of editing on mobile devices.
Right.
I just don't have the need to do that.
Right.
But there are a lot of people out there that shoot a lot of photos like that on their iPhones and stuff. They want to be able to do that. This gives you a lot of really great capabilities, more like a desktop application would.
Yeah. One of the bad parts about it, if there is a bad part, is the people that you are courting to do photography for, they can get it.
They can also get it. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I was just at a shoot. It was the day before yesterday, and one of the people there said, "Yeah, we don't hire a photographer that often because we shoot the pictures, either with the iPad or the phone, and then we edit it on the iPad using this program." And he's like, "Yeah, I can go in there and judge the the eyes and this and that." I'm like looking at him like, "No kidding."
Of course you can.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
So I mean, all the basic editing stuff, taking out little blotches and colored like desaturating areas and magic wanding this and clone stamping that.
Right.
It's all in. It's all in there. So.
Well, this is what we talk about all the time, though, about the barrier to entry into professional quality images is so low now from a technology standpoint.
Right.
That everybody has a smartphone nowadays. Everybody can go and download an image editing app. Then before you know it, you're competing against, these regular everyday people who really have minimal or no photography experience at all, but they've figured out a way to, point the phone at something and take a shot that somebody thinks is acceptable enough, and they're able to tweak it. And you know what? If they can save some money, not have to pay a professional, then it's good enough.
Exactly.
And that's the world we live in nowadays. Is we live in the it's good enough world.
Yeah.
And that's what we
it's
always
sad.
say, you got to separate yourself.
Yeah. You have to stand out. If you do not stand out, you're not going to get work. And that's just it. Photographers are a dime a dozen, but good photographers, stellar photographers, photographers that
Are still in demand.
that really get it are in demand. Absolutely. And what's happening now is I'm noticing, especially on the commercial side, businesses are not looking for just the kind of Joe Blow photographer that they're finding in Craigslist. They're actually looking for professionals that are able to give them exactly what they want when they want it. Because a lot of them, I mean, I do redos all the time, and these redos are just unbelievably just awful. Some of the stuff that you see, and it's just because they didn't pay a lot to begin with. They got someone that's just either out of school, never went to school. They have not a clue. They shot it on P for professional, that we joke about all the time. And then the stuff looks absolutely horrible. And now they're looking for someone to either fix the nonsense that they have already, that they have this CD, because that's what they're all doing. They're giving CDs
everything's
away.
on a CD.
Can you fix this? And it's like, well, for me to fix it, it's going to cost you as much, if not more, than if I just shot it right to begin with. Right. So anyways, you definitely need to set yourself apart.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, nonetheless, the apps are available. They're fun to play with. Photoshop Express is free. Go check it out. They have paid plugin things, I guess, of course, that you can put into it.
The Zhuzh program.
The Zhuzh program, yeah.
The little plugin for zhuzhing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
anyway, my friend, I think we are done.
Yeah,
that's enough productivity for the day. My brain
hurts. That's a lot, right?
It is a lot, yes.
Oh my goodness.
So if people want to connect with you, my friend, what is the best way for them to reach you?
They can find me on Twitter, and that's at Joseph Christina, and that's Christina without an H.
Yes, it is. And you can connect with me on Twitter. It's at Trevor Kern.
Awesome. So, all right, guys, we are out of here. You can get show notes from this episode by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com/96. And don't forget, if you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star review in iTunes by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com/iTunes. So keep your questions and comments coming, and we'll see you next week.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe show with Trevor Curran and Joseph Christina. Be sure to subscribe to the show for free in iTunes or through RSS. You can also listen on Stitcher and TuneIn Radio and watch in HD on TiVo. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your hosts.